All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. Hello, friends. Welcome back. On Mondays, I have to break it up, right? I kind of just don't do the whole show in one shot. I have to break it up because of the Q100 staff meeting, which that is now over. I was surprised as hell on today's staff meeting. I expected to see Gregg Henson there, and I did, but I was like, what am I seeing here? Not only Gregg Henson, but Michelle McCormick was there. And I'm like, worlds colliding here. Why are you at the radio station in northern Michigan? So then in my brain, I put two and two together. Michelle has a place up north. And Gregg probably said, hey, I come up, I guess, to see the place or head on down because she's up a little further north. I don't know. There is talk about Alan and his lovely better half. No baby yet. Can't imagine what that's like for mom. The way the system works, the mom's system is flooded with hormones that dilates all the apparatus so that baby can get through, but it's still always very painful. When the child comes out of the birth canal like that, that's asking a lot. That's one of those physiology recalls that I think baby Jesus needs to take back to the drawing board there. Why can't it be that, the opening is large enough that, you could put a basketball through it? Why does that have to be? I mean, there's about 1 billion other adaptations that have happened over the years of humanity. Why couldn't that have been one of them? There are several of those that I look at the human body and I'm like, yeah, this is GM would have a recall. The fact that your tibia, your shin bone, has no padding on it, so that when you slip, when you're walking up the steps and you bash the front of your leg on that bone, I mean, that's bad. More things that should have been recalled. The fact that the butthole is so close to, like, the fun part. Well, some of you, like Amanda, that is the fun part. Numerous comments over the weekend about Amanda. I didn't have a problem with it. Amanda, we were blessed, in my opinion, to get the frank discussion about Amanda having 3 boy toys. And I heard from one audience member who is insanely jealous of that whole endeavor. But that audience member masked it like they were disgusted. But I'm pretty sure that, they were all about it, wishing that they could be Amanda. Amanda is, so there's a lot happening in her life. She might be the new Jeremy. Jeremy in a year's time, I still can't believe that that's come and gone more than 1 year. 11 months now. I'm sorry, 13 months now. She might be on the fast track toward weight reduction. And then she's going to compile a laundry list of dudes at her beck and call. Okay? And, I mean, if she already has her pick of 3 boy toys before losing all the weight, can you imagine the stable of boy toys she will have at her disposal. And she will be like, an NFL football coach calling the plays. She'll be like, all right, Larry, I want you here. Whoever else here. You here. And you stand here. That may be what we're dealing with. And all of you are jealous. Everybody knows that. Tyler with a great question. He says, good comment. There wasn't a weigh-in today. She probably gained 5 pounds from jizz over the weekend. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. You know that there's going to be some globs rolling out of her with every step for about the next week. Her coworkers are going to call her the ooze. No one asked for that. She just happened to say it. Out of the blue, she pointed, hey, thought I happened to be back, better there. So guess what? I'm getting tons of cock. We're like, what? Okay. The idea that we should we place bets on the time of the baby to be born. Leave them in the chat, and I will write them down closest without going over. Can you give us a little bit of background? Like, what is her dilation number right now, Alan? Linda put 415, but I don't know. Maybe wait until we get the dilation. Yeah, I'll give you an opportunity to amend that, but I'll put it down for now just in case. Let's get the dilation number, and we'll go from there. I remember Pooh Bear we had 3 kids, and they were all C-section. There was one, Alan says she's at 6.5, pretty consistent contractions every 90 seconds. So things are happening quicker and quicker, I'm guessing. That's all the information I think we need. So if you have a guess on when the birth will be, Tyler says we need dilation, effacement, and station numbers. I don't know what the fuck that means. 247, says Megan. Ooh, Starman's going with 242. So the second child, when Dinah had Jackie, it was attempted to be a normal childbirth, and she wasn't dilating. So they, I've told this story before. It's a ridiculous story. They have this device. It looks like a large rubber, and it goes over the cervix, and they put Pitocin on it, which is some hormone that causes dilation, because she wasn't dilating. So they actually put that on there like a cap. Not happening. So after a little bit, they go, all right, we're going to do a cesarean section on Madison there. Bob says 148. Well, she shows up into the world and all is good. Alan says she's been on Pitocin since 7:30 a.m. If you have any other guesses on the time the baby will be born, you can leave them in the chat. Easy. I'll just say 3 p.m. So that happens. Tyler's down for 7-11. Ugh. God help her. No way. 90-second contractions? Come on. Dumbass. 7-Eleven. Might even be. I think Linda might have it. Anyway, about 4 or 5 weeks later, something's catching my attention in the house. At certain intervals, I'm like, what is that? What am I noticing? And so I'm walking around the house and I'm looking for I'm looking in the refrigerator and I'm looking for spoiled food. Like, I don't see it. Huh. Well, maybe I left something out. Maybe, like you take cottage cheese out of the fridge and then you put it into the cupboard by accident. So then I'm like, yeah. Huh? Is it there? No? Okay. I don't know what the hell's going on. Fast forward, however long, I'm in the car, and I'm like, what is going on here? That smell in the kitchen is now in the car. So I'm like, and it was like, same day after, 2 days after, 3 days. This just keeps happening more and more. And I'm looking at my shoe. Did I step in shit? Is it on my clothes? Is it in my hair? What is it? And then it's like more thick. It's a thicker smell. It's like, okay, something's wrong. There is some type of toxic leak, perhaps. But how could it be that it's in the car and then it's in the kitchen and then randomly it's in the living room or it's outside and it's the same smell? This, it's a combination of rot and death and walleye carcasses that your dog has eaten and then puked back up and it's sat in the sun for 5 days. That's the best way to describe this smell. Tyler says my initial guess is something related to the NFK. No, I've done a good job telling this story. Because you're thinking something else. Then I noticed. Well, actually, I didn't notice this, but I was complaining to in the house. I go, I don't know what this is. And couldn't figure it out. And then I had a notion at one point what it could be, but I said, no, I better not. I better just stay quiet. Then I got a phone call. And like 6 weeks after the birth, Diana went to the doc. And it turns out it was her that was causing all of the stink. All of it. Because that cap that they put on her cervix, they never removed it. So it was, and she was starting to feel sick. It was hurting her, And so the doc went in, and she said that when that device was extracted, the tsunami of funk that came flying out of her queef flappers was like the doc went, and it was like crazy. And it's like hit splattering on the floor. It was as bad as a toxic spill, like Bhopal, India. It was that type of toxic release. So that's what was causing the funk. And So she calls me up and says, "Yeah, do you remember you were complaining about that stink?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "It was me. It was my snatch." I'm like, "What? What the fuck are you talking about?" So I guess, that's the type of thing where, I'm like, I don't ever want to touch you as long as I live again. And that's the type of thing where you got to get like a 55-gallon jug of douche to like a power washer and just jam it up there. And you got to get the walls. And oh my God. Very rough. Very rough. So we even pursued litigation for this one, but she wasn't made ill or anything. So we didn't pursue that. We didn't have a case. We actually called Jeffrey Feiger. It's Feiger time about that. And he goes, "Well, that's horrible, but are there any long-term effects?" No, she's fine. You don't have a case. You don't have anything. It's a mistake, but it's corrected and she's fine. Starman says the subtleness of easy storytelling is on another level. Tsunami of Funk would make a sweet band name. Tyler says, disagree. There were emotional damages from the tsunami of funk. Your Honor, my client was exposed to a tsunami of funk. Alan says she is now 8 centimeters. We are cooking quickly. So that means in the last 5 minutes, she has gone up 1.5 centimeters. If you can just say at push time, she's pushing, we will know we are seconds away from the birth of your baby boy. Bob is at 1:48 p.m. So he is closest as we speak. Okay. I have yet to talk about any of my amazing sponsors yet, but I'm going to do that now. I take it back. I talked about Impact Power Sports. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EVs, 616-532-6600. ERVines.com. That's ERVines.com. And you can take advantage of their outstanding work in repairing your car, your EV, your hybrid, whatever it may be. They have loaner cars available for you to take advantage of. ERVines.com. That's ERVines.com. I just got off the phone with Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance. I'm talking to him Wednesday at 3 p.m. He says, EZ, we got to figure out your insurance for the coming year. And I want to talk to you because, it's kind of a different time with potential for, and I go, yeah, I know. We can talk about it on the radio show. I might have our podcast with the cost of healthcare. He goes, well, I'm not so much. He goes, I'll work some magic with your policy. You'll pay a little bit more, but it won't be too bad. I go, well, that's great. I look forward to that. But what he wanted me to stress with you is that if you're getting ready to take advantage of healthcare through the marketplace in this not so normal time, like you don't know what's going to happen with the tax credits or whatever, you don't want to be on the phone talking to a government employee at healthcare.gov, giving them all your personal information just for them to find out that they don't know what yet they can do for you. So why don't you skip all of that? Reach out to Frank and have Frank do all the heavy, I almost called him Frank do all the heavy lifting for you at no cost to you. His services are always free. He gets paid by insurance companies for getting people like you into policies. So if you're in between jobs, if your boss does not offer insurance or you're self-employed, you need health care through the Affordable Care Act or healthcare.gov. Frank will help you every step of the way. Go to buyinsurancehere.com and make an appointment. Well, I take it back. When you go to buyinsurancehere.com, that's just your information. He will reach out to you and give you options to schedule. That's all you do. Buyinsurancehere.com. Buyinsurancehere.com. Scott now is entering the fray at 1:56 p.m. So, okay. You can make a prediction on the birth of Alan's child. Over the weekend, everywhere you turned, there was a No Kings rally. So all across the United States, hundreds of thousands of people, when you add up all the numbers, get together, and they're protesting the president being the president, I think. I think that's what they're protesting. Linda says there was even one in Ludington, Michigan. So I saw a lot of people in weird clothes and giant heads and lots of costumes and a lot of signs. And all right, so they're pissed off at the president. I can't remember. I think this happened during the first presidency, too. And, you know, I wonder how many times in the history of protests, what is it going to have to take for people who protest to realize that these are a huge waste of time? Essentially, why would you do that? Can you imagine? Think about it. Let's say there's 2 million people across the United States who protest. If, in place of the protest, they volunteered at a charitable organization. Think about that. All of that time and energy towards, I don't know, feeding people, handing out clothes, Habitat for Humanity, something like that, all those man hours. What could be done? And you could say, yes, we are protesting the government by volunteering and building a home for this impoverished family. Oh, that'd be big, wouldn't it? I think that'd be an excellent way of doing it. I think that protests are the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I don't care what the protest is about. There ain't a goddamn thing a protest does to help humanity. It doesn't make what you don't like become what you like. It doesn't change anything. And, I mean, there have been protests, and it doesn't just have to be, liberals bitching about Republicans. You think about all the protests that have taken place. Look at the one protest that did have a chance to change something was January 6th. Now, the problem with that protest is most people who are red staters are more stupid than blue staters. They're less educated. These are dumb, poor people. That's why people died at that protest. The more stupid the people are protesting, the higher the risk of catastrophic events. Hence, January 6th. I think we can all agree, even my MAGA scum, that MAGA supporters are 1,000,000% less educated than the rest of the planet. that's why there was so much violence and death and destruction when MAGA tried to overthrow the government. Okay? Now, when you get much smarter people protesting, it is still stupid. Okay? But they don't murder like the psychopaths that tried to overthrow the government on January 6th. That is indisputable. There's no other way you can look at it. Now, occasionally you will get left guys losing their minds and breaking windows. George Floyd protests, shit like that. But reasonably, it's safe to assume that the No King protest, if it were switched to the other side, everybody would be dead. A war would have broken out. Tyler says all protests are zero wins, infinite losses, and getting anything changed. That's true. Bob says most of them look like an assisted living home. Took the residents on a field trip. Cole says they don't want the guy that won in a landslide. They want the lady that was installed in Biden's place. No one voted for her, almost like a king. That is so true. It was almost a landslide, by the way. It was not a landslide victory. It was an ass kicking is what it was. David says, agreed, protesting is dumb. It changes nothing. Molly says, I don't know why so many people are shitting on the peaceful protest. Well, it isn't so much shitting. It's just, I guess my point is, they do nothing. Why take your time and do something constructive with it? It bothers me that people waste their time on such a silly thing that will change nothing. That's true. It doesn't change anything. The only time it almost changed something was when the psychopaths tried to overthrow the government. And then, unfortunately, I was disappointed that we didn't have a military helicopter swoop in and just do like that scene in Full Metal Jacket where the guy was just, get some. That would have been awesome. So it isn't so much that the protest, no, it is. I take it back. They're 100% useless. And it's not like, it's frustrating to me that people waste so much time when they could do something constructive with it. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, I even saw the people of England were standing in solidarity with the No Kings protesters. Now, I will say this. Trump, first of all, let me get into this. This is an actual news story about the day's events from the No Kings protest. All right, they're starting with hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. The thing about that is that's used at every protest. Hey, hey, ho, ho. There's got to be some new material.
Across the country in major cities and small towns, hundreds of thousands gathering at No Kings demonstrations, rallying against the Trump administration.
The rule of law is being destroyed.
Thousands of people taking over the streets of downtown Chicago, many of them motivated by various factors, but the common thread, their defiance against the Trump administration policies. Do you feel you've been profiled?
Absolutely. Because how I look, I'm Mexican-American, first generation, but I served 30 years in the military.
ICE is an army.
Well, how were you profiled? I mean, were you grabbed off the street? Because that is happening. I mean, and maybe he was, and that is happening 100%. So give me some more information.
Neighborhood, literally snatching people off the street.
No Kings organizers said more than 2,500 rallies were planned, with millions expected to participate. Huge crowds turning out in Boston, Miami, Buffalo, and more.
I'm 90 years old, and I've never seen my country in this condition.
What values are at the top of your mind as you protest today?
Access to abortion, pro-choice movement, LGBTQ plus rights.
Brian Chandler is on the ground in Austin.
Here in Austin, Governor Abbott mobilizing the National Guard to watch for any unrest as more than 10,000 peaceful protesters march from the Texas Capitol.
One of the biggest protests happening in President Trump's backyard. Melanie Zanona is in D.C.
And organizers tell me over
she looks like a rock chick.
200,000 people showed up for the rally near the National Mall. And one thing top of mind for many here, the decimation of the federal workforce.
Scientist Bill Nye says that decimation leaves us all vulnerable.
Oh, Bill Nye, look at. He's in his zoot suit, ready to go. This guy's brilliant. I love him.
Budget, especially to NASA, is thoughtless.
The demonstrations even spreading beyond the states with rallies overseas.
Not only us in the United States, but across the world. Yeah. We're all in trouble.
President Trump and his administration.
Look at this. These big head guys. I think that's Putin. That's Trump. I think that's Vance with a Confederate flag on his head.
Addressed the No Kings movement this week.
That's Christy Nome. Okay. There's a lot of money went into these costumes here. Jesus.
They're referring to me as a king. I'm not a king.
Right. Obviously, everyone's letting the protest. It's what America's all about, is proving that there isn't a king, right?
Earlier this year, the White House posted an artistic image of Trump in a crown, writing, quote, "Long live the
such a troll
king." But today, thousands of protesters sending a message to the president.
Adrian joins me now.
Okay, so one of you said, I think it was Piano Finger Banger, it was the protests that got the civil rights movement going. Okay. Let's think about that for a second there. Protesting for equal rights so that black people can have the same rights as white people, so that women and gays can have the same rights as everybody else. Okay? Changing of the law to accommodate equal rights. What the hell is being violated that isn't 100% above board, I should say, by the current administration? My point is, the president is the president, and the rules that are there are not anything that has been breaking any rules. If you want to change, you're going to have to vote for the next guy. You're going to have to talk to your lawmakers. You're going to have to put a candidate that's worthy of being in the office. I mean, Jesus Christ. I do not think at all that what they're marching on, which I guess they're basically marching on the policy of the White House, which is strong on immigration to a point where they're snatching people off the street. I get that. Strong on the military, anti-abortion, typical conservative values being held up, stuff that's been that way for as long as we've had politics. How is marching in the street going to change the policy of the president for the next 3 years? Is the suggestion being made that the president's going to go, wow, they're on to something? No. He's going to post AI videos of him flying around dropping shit on them. This was incredible. Now, it's got the music Danger Zone, so I don't want to play that. But we live in a world right now where millions of people are marching through the streets, and Trump posts an AI video of him flying in a fighter jet, wearing a crown, flying over throngs of people, and opening up the bomb doors and dropping feces on the people. There's Trump in the plane. he opens up the doors and drops the shit. And look, oh no! In all the major cities, shit is dropping down on them. My God. Hey, it's Eric Zane for an amazing gift site, uncommongoods.com. Handmade, artisan creations for you to buy for someone as an amazing gift. I found a storybook DIY kit. I know you've seen these on bookshelves at bookstores where it says you can, quote, open a magical portal on your bookshelf when you build one of these wonderfully detailed 3D scenarios. Went book shopping with Pooh Bear. You know, that's her thing. And she saw one of these. She goes, oh, I would love one of these. Well, it just so happens since I've partnered with Uncommon Goods, they feature these for sale. Plus, thousands of other amazing products that you can check out for that special gift for someone. The holidays are fast approaching. You can do your shopping right from your laptop or desktop or your mobile device. UncommonGoods.com. Uncommon Goods curates products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made right here in the good old US of A. Many are crafted by independent artists and small businesses because they're made in small batches. The best finds can sell out fast. So go there and look around. UncommonGoods.com. You won't believe some of the things that are available to help your shopping experience to make someone very, very happy. UncommonGoods.com has something for everyone, from moms and dads to kids and teens, from book lovers, history buffs, diehard football fans to foodies. You'll find thousands of new gift ideas that you won't find anywhere else. And it's time to save some cash. That's right. Shop early, have fun, just in time for the holidays. Get 15% off your next gift when you go to uncommongoods.com/Zane. That's uncommongoods.com/Zane right now for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. uncommongoods.com/Zane. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. What a world. Look, if I'm him, I do the same thing. 100%. That is called leaning in, and that is part of the playbook. In my opinion, would you rather have a president ignore you, turn the other cheek, say nothing? Or would you rather have a president acknowledge what you're doing? True, it's a video of him dropping shit on you while wearing a crown and flying in a fighter jet, but at least you know that he knows you're there. Consider yourselves heard, in my opinion. Piano Finger Banger says, the President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. And I've seen a lot of that. Oh, imagine that. A president doing that. Yeah, you guys, we are way beyond that. Give me a break. Yeah, if that's the best that you can do or we can do and just be appalled with the behavior of a sitting president, my point is at least he's letting you know that you're there. He's engaged with you. 100% doesn't agree with you, and he's letting you know it. And frankly, I love when I know what pisses people off, doing that more. And when that happens and I get the reaction that I want, it's a vicious cycle. Like, if I'm aware what pisses somebody off and then I do it and they get more mad, I'm going to do it twice as hard the next time and continue to do that. That is the gold standard of trolling. Piano Finger Banger says the only thing he's engaged with is girls under the age of 15. Badger says he will troll you in between ending wars. LOL. Badger says, how can you not like him? Joe Martinez is here. He says, I just tell you to fuck off. Joe, by the way, I gave a heartfelt update for you on the first half of the podcast today. You may not have been here for that, but a lot of people pulling for you, big guy. Kuipers is here. He says some people just can't take a joke. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, when there's no substance to your argument, call them a racist pedophile. And that kind of is the thing, you know. I think the biggest mistake Trump ever made was saying that there was no list, no Epstein list, that it vanished. In my opinion, he should have done what is actually happening. He should have said, so I have the Epstein list, and I am on the top of it. Here it is. And then you didn't have to say anything else. It's not like it's going to matter. The amount of people who would jump ship on Trump if they found out he had sex with children is zero. Zero of Trump supporters. This is what Trump supporter would say if they found out that Trump had sex with little kids. They would say, oh my God, that's terrible. Not as bad as Biden. And then that's it. That's all you would do. And, then they got nothing against you. All they can say now is, without really knowing, is that he's a racist pedophile. But if you said, well, hey, I'm on the list, and here it is. I'm on the list, and here you go. That's all you need to know. And everybody said, oh, my God, you're a pedophile. And he would say, I know I am. And then nobody would, when you admit to it, it's no problem. There's no more lies. You don't have to do anything. I don't know why he didn't just say what happened. And that is numerous children have been involved sexually with him, allegedly. That's just my opinion. Piano Fingerbanger says, this coming from the same people who had a meltdown over Obama wearing a tan suit. I don't know what that means. Badger says, how can you not like him? Well, because I think he had sex with kids. That's why. That's why I can't like him. Yes, a strong troll game, but a strong troll game, which is something I aspire to, does not, in my opinion, balance out between allegedly having sex with children. I have to ask every one of you Trump supporters that are in the chat, honestly, if you found out that he had sex with kids, would you have voted any differently? You have to answer that honestly. I know, and it's okay, because the other guy was a piece of shit too. David says he absolutely would have voted differently if he had found out that Trump had sex with kids. You mean to tell me you would have voted for Joe Biden? I would have voted for no one. You wouldn't have voted. I don't believe you. The rest of you can weigh in. And if you don't weigh in, that means you would have voted for him. Like I know, like Kuipers here, he wants Trump to have sex with him. Bread Bull Brain Chris is independent. I don't know what or libertarian. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. Cole is a big Trumper. Badger's a big Trumper. Those two slobs. Scott P. I'm not sure where you are. Bob in Pennsylvania. These are all Trump slobs. And they absolutely would have voted for Trump, in my opinion. Despite the children thing. We have an update not that long ago from Alan that the water has broken. So I don't know how much time usually passes from broken water to baby. Let me look that up. Much time from broken water to delivery. Most women experience labor within 12 to 24 hours after their water breaks. That doesn't sound right because I'm pretty sure Abby was in labor. If you can, you might not even be able to comment right now because the shit's going down. How much interval between the contractions, and do we have an additional measurement on the cervix? We were dilated to an 8 at last check, up from a 6.5 minutes earlier. Red Bull Brain Chris says you would have changed your vote to Trump. So Red Bull Brain Chris is saying that if I found out that Trump had slept with children, that I would then have voted for him. And yes, I would have. No, I wouldn't have. All right, so that's the end of my coverage on this stupid rally that did nothing. Megan says bodies are all different. I went from a 6 to a 10 in 15 miserable minutes. Ugh. Actually, let me play the rest of this story with this guy from NBC News whose eyes are way too close together.
Adrian, there had been warnings from some Republicans.
Image of Trump in a crown, writing, quote, "Long live the king." But today, thousands of protesters sending a message to the president.
Adrian joins me now. Adrian, there had been warnings from some Republicans that these protests could turn violent. What did you see today?
Jose, across the country, we saw large crowds, few incidents. Here in Chicago, protesters marched to Trump Tower, which is behind me. Police are still compiling data to determine how many people participated, but so far, no reported arrests. And in New York City, the NYPD says more than 100,000 people showed up, and the police there say they made 0 protest-related arrests.
That's too bad. That is a peaceful protest. And that's why nothing gets done. You got to really start to destroy things for the shit to hit the fan. The thing about it is, though, if you go ahead, Brancho says, "Easy, are you going to show that other protest video?" I don't know what you mean. Send it. What was I going to say? I had a point and then I lost it. With no arrests being made or anything like that, I mean, you got to break some shit. If you're going to do it right, if you want people to know you're there, at least some looting. You need to bring in the right type of protesters. So anybody who's familiar with some of the things that have gone on over the years in like Los Angeles, you got to have that type of scenario where some shit's burning, windows are breaking, stores are being looted. Badger says the rest of us had better things to do, like watching football and NASCAR. I don't know about the NASCAR thing. The only racing I'm interested in right now is Berlin Raceway. EZ video incoming. All right, I'll keep an eye out for it. Meanwhile, the bass player for the band Limp Bizkit is dead. Raise your hand if you know who the bass player in Limp Bizkit is. Here he is, dressed very nicely. by the way, on the 5-string bass. This guy, back in the day, he had the thirst, and he was drinking and drugging so much that his liver failed, and he got a new one, which is bullshit, by the way. If you drink and drug and your liver fails, you should not be allowed to get a liver. I think that that's a problem in the transplant world. It should only go to people who haven't destroyed their livers. And this guy probably had the money to get somehow on the top of a list somehow. Or maybe he had a friend donate a portion of his or her liver, which does happen. This guy was only 48, though. I don't know how he died. This is a video. Limp Bizkit bass player dies. Sam Rivers, the bass player in the band. Hold on a second. I missed some of that. Died Saturday. Wait, he looks totally different in various pictures. They described him as pure magic and the soul in the sound. This is Fred Durst, who still wears the flat-brimmed hat. Looks pretty good, though, despite the white beard. Pretty old.
There Sam was on the stage with his band, killing it on the bass, and I went, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing.
No details yet. Had previously spoken of heavy drinking that had caused liver disease, leaving the band in 2015. Three years later, reuniting with the band. They're still touring, though. All right.
President Donald Trump made...
What a drag. Branjo says, I just sent it. Sorry, took me a minute to find it. Going forward, can I send Blue Sky links? I don't know. I mean, you can send them. Bob saw them in May. Mickey Mantle, same thing. Drank his liver into submission. Cole saw them open for Metallica in June. Josh sends along this. Oh, I did have this. I did have this video. This is fantastic. I forgot it. I'm going to play it right now. This guy says F rhymes with Baggett. This is in Denver. Black vest, blue sleeves, is talking shit to the protesters. One of the protesters nimbly plucks the guy's sunglasses off his face and starts running away. The dude starts chasing him, but he's got no chance at catching him. And those odds were even more not in his favor when he fell, and the only thing that stopped his fall was his face. He gets up, continues running. The guy's long gone. And then one of the protesters, swept the leg and tripped him again, and he goes down again on his face. Now he's all fucked up. His pants are falling off. This is that entire moment. It was fan-fucking-tastic.
Let's go! Let's go! God bless Trump! God bless Trump!
Okay, now, I would never support that, but if I'm with my brother-in-law, Mike, we might yell that just to see people get pissed off. I would never say God bless Trump and then mean it, or let's go ICE, or God bless ICE. But if I knew people were going to hear it, that were going to get pissed off, I then would probably say it.
God bless Trump! Trump! God bless Trump!
But these guys made it. They're giving the finger.
Ride your bike, you fucking fag! Go get a job! Yeah.
All right, there the guy just grabbed. You see how quickly he grabbed those sunglasses?
Fag!
Well, just kidding. Pluck. Okay, and then boom, he goes down. Okay. Now they're laughing at him, and he's not of age. He has no chance of catching anybody. He's a 65-year-old guy. And watch this. Trip. Oh, no. Oh, they're all laughing at him. And this protester is like, yeah, buddy, stop. This guy doesn't know what planet he's on now. He's all fucked. He's bleeding. You guys are going to get your ass beat if you don't quit. I'm serious.
Hey, get your buddy. Get your buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. You ran into me. What the fuck?
Hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Okay, there's a guy who's got the sunglasses. He's teasing him now.
Trip his ass! Trip his ass! Fuck you!
No.
Fuck Trump, pussy! Get the fuck out of here! Get out of here! Jump you, dude! What are you doing? Get out of here! They're violent right now. Get fucked up! Get out of here! I don't know where they are! Get out of here! I'm sorry, you need to go. I don't want you to get hurt.
Just screaming at him, bleeding all over the place.
Buy new glasses.
He goes, buy new glasses. Oh. What a L. Megan says sunglasses stealer is a fucker, not a fan. So am I getting right that there's sympathy? Are you suggesting here? Because that's interesting. What a dynamic. The idea that the guy was just saying F rhymes with bag slurs at these people, and sunglass stealer takes the sunglasses, yet you don't like sunglass stealer. I thought that for sure that there would be, especially from people that aren't Trump supporters, would be like, yeah, sunglass stealer, I love that guy. But no. And Branjo says, I think the slurs made it acceptable. I think what that is an example of is FAFO. Fuck around, find out. All it took was pluck sunglasses off face to get that guy's feet moving. He's not capable of that type of physical exertion. He's an elderly person. Shit, he's probably my age. And then that's what you get, you know? So I don't know, man. I can't really get in the way of sunglass guy being a problem after the guy whose face is on the pavement was dropping that shit while he was walking down the street. I think it's a tie. I think that's what you get. That's what happens in those moments. So Megan says, well, not sympathy. I just don't agree with his tactic. I guess that is probably the best possible outcome for a guy who's willing to speak like that in public. All right. Now, I'm very happy with my MAGA supporters here who are not supporting that guy who was saying that terrible thing on the street. Again, proof positive that occasionally my MAGA supporters act like normal human beings. Not all the time, but occasionally they get it right, and I think they've gotten it right here. Piano Fingerbanger says, there is no coming back from this. Just go end it, dude. Stevie says instant karma. Yeah, I pretty much. And then he's trying to talk his way into getting his sunglasses back. He's leaking everywhere. And the guy goes, well, just go buy new sunglasses. You're going to get your ass kicked. Bob says, dude that took the sunglasses is a twat waffle. I can't say that. No. I am supporting Sunglass Guy. I give Sunglass Guy in that bizarre of a scenario when people are acting like animals. That's the way it goes. If he was acting like an asshole first, Sunglasses Guy would not have acted like that if old fuck face on cement guy wasn't an asshole first. Megan says, I think it was a shitty thing to do. Obviously, I hate the words coming out of homeboy with no forehead, skin face. It was fuck around and find out and karma and everything like that. Epitomizer says, do Rain Man and Stumbles, which is homeless podcasters Tukey found in Denver, have a statement on this? Easy, love seeing you on WATP Live. The pleasure was all mine. So do we know guy with no forehead on his skin's name? He's got to be fired now. I don't know. I don't know that, but I'm sure it's fairly simple to find out. And I don't know if he'd get fired because I think in the world of instant justice here, the fact that he was injured may keep him from losing his job. I think. I don't know why that is, but I think that there's some degree of sympathy for a guy who lost his sunglasses. But, you know, Branjo, thank you for reminding me about that story. I had it ready to go, but I had forgotten to play it. Absolutely incredible. I have another clip with that isn't, well, it's an injury, but not like in the same way that one happened. Thank you to, God, who was it? Scotty P who sent it along? Yeah, it was Scotty P who sent this along. Oh, my gosh. It's like a couple of MMA fighters yeah, because they got gloves on, but they're able to throw elbows and kick and whatnot. I don't know if this is Muay Thai or something. So guy who has his back to us is going to throw a right elbow, and it's going to catch pink shorts right on the left side of his head. And he's going to do a factory reset. And then you'll notice that that elbow ripped his upper lip wide open. So it's like there's a vagina on his upper lip. I think his tooth ripped through. This is hard to watch. Here you go. It happens fast. Okay, I'm fucking this shit up. Okay. Oh, my God. And you get it from, 3 or 4 close. Look at it. He's going good night. Ugh. That is bad news. His lip exploded. Vagina on his upper lip, but in a bad way, says Megan. Yeah, normally if there's a vagina on your mouth, that's a great thing. But David says, don't pass out easy. No, I'm okay with that stuff. Piano Fingerbanger says, I got CTE just watching that. Ugh, combat sports. I don't know how people can do that shit. My God. The only person that I know who hasn't been doxxed in this generation of doxing is Philly's Karen. Didn't she get fired? No, they ID'd the wrong person. Yeah, I remember that. How about chick last week who was at the Dodgers game? Remember, it was the Milwaukee Brewers fan who we got to call ICE. She got fired before she walked out of the venue. I think it's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, that as we are out in the wild, this is my public service message to you. You're being watched. Everything you do is being watched. Don't let you and your family down by doing something that's going to get you fired. I merely want you to smile and go, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. No problem. Glad to be of service. Anything I can do to help. These are all positive things. And always have a cheery demeanor and be willing to play dumb. Like, oh, what? Oh, I did? Oh, my God. I am so sorry. Parking lots are a great place for you to keep your cool. Because bad things are going to happen, and you're going to stay calm because you're going to live to fight another day, and you're going to keep your job. When you get out there in the wild, just keep your mouth shut, eyes forward. If you're lucky, they'll do something to you that you can sue them for or maybe get them fired if that's your thing. But you're going to be on your best behavior. Epitomizer says, I just apologize to everyone for being cisgender and Caucasian. I think I know what cisgender means, but I'm not 100% sure. And Epitomizer, if you were with me in Detroit, tell me who you are. I need to know who you are. Like, introduce yourself via email on the Shoreliner Striping inbox at some point. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I think you've been here before, but I don't know. I always like to formally greet individual people one at a time through a conversation on email, or give me the background here on chat if you don't mind, whatever you want. On the streets, act like Derek Zaitunian. Behind closed doors, let your inner Zane flow. Without a doubt. Big Beard Whalers hat. Did you give me your name? This isn't Jim, is it? Epitomizer? This isn't Jim V, is it? I don't think it is. The Whalers. Dan! Oh, my God. Hartford Whalers. Yes. Anyway. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to say hello to two other sponsors before I wrap this thing up today. King's Room Barbershop is the absolute best. I got my hair cut there on Friday, in fact. You go to kingsroom.net if you want to get a haircut. They've got 3 locations. Northland Drive, Caledonia, and at 821 36th Street. 3 locations. Their website is kingsroom.net. You can go there, check out the exact hours of operation, schedules, whatnot, exact locations if you need that. $21, get you a haircut plus tip. And please mention me when you go to King's Room Barbershop. Kuiper Tree Care in West Michigan. If you've got a tree that's a pain in the you-know-what, you can call them, and they will take care of it for you. Kuiper, treecare.com. Maybe it's a tree that's a little bit past its prime. It's causing trouble. Or perhaps you've got some storm damage. Maybe you want a tree just trimmed up. They can help you with all this. Stump grinding, you name it. 616-828-8225. That's 616-828-8225. The asshole of the day today. You know, there can really be only one on most days. Some days we have more than one, but just for the sake of keeping things moving, I will, some of you might say it's Sunglass Stealer is the asshole of the day, but I am going to go with Forehead Skin Buttfuck, the guy who got his sunglasses stolen, as the asshole of the day. Do we have any word on the baby yet? I don't see that yet. That means Alan hasn't talked in a while, so I'm guessing it's go time, you know? All right, it's going to be great. We're going to find out. We'll let you know. Megan is now subscribed on Twitch for 42 straight months. Wait a minute, for 42 months and on a 25-month streak. Thank you very much. All right. And that is my time. And I will talk to you on Patreon. Hang on, I'm screwing this up. Patreon.com/Eric. Sign up for $5 or $10 a month. And if you want to sign up for a full year, I'll take 10% off the price. So if you've been paying by the month, I'll take 10% off it if you buy it all at once. That's a savings. You're saving $12 a month for tier 2, $12 a year for tier 2, $6 a year for tier 1. I know it's not a ton, but it does add up. Bob, you are still in the running at 1:48 p.m. You are the closest for the birth of the baby. And then after that, it goes to Scott at 1:56 p.m. and then Linda at 2 p.m. All right. Thanks, folks. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.